Midivani Monroe for MissFabulous.com reporting from Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. I first became aware of Elene Cassis at her fall 2011 show last February. I was impressed with the sophistication of her designs, her use of interesting fabrics that were very much vintage inspired, and her use of texture and color. Having only graduated from Parsons School of Design in 2009, Elene Cassis is fairly new to the fashion world, and I was very much looking forward to seeing her next collection. Would she be able to keep up with the momentum she had gained last season? We were off to the show to find out. So we're with Sarah Charness backstage after the Elene Cassis show, and she was the violinist that performed the Swan Lake at the beginning and also the closing. How did you get involved with this?
You know, Elene saw one of my videos that was sent to her, and you know, we just kind of, it got sent off. She looked at it and she said, "Gotta have this in my show." And I said, and I was so flattered. I had, you know, wasn't really expecting to do it, and she just invited me to come and play, and I was thrilled to be here. I love mixing music and fashion. I think it's such an exciting venture, so I'm really happy to be here.
How did you get involved in the music business? What is your background?
I'm actually completely classically trained. I started on violin when I was about 4 years old on a little tiny violin this big. And then I, you know, when I was about 16, switched over to rock and roll and decided I wanted to, you know, turn into a different route and kind of bring pop music into the violin a little bit more, which is a little bit of a trend right now. So, and that's how I kind of ended up doing what I'm doing.
Well, maybe it's kind of like Picasso said, that you need to learn the basics and the classic, and then you can break the rules.
Absolutely, I think that is 100% correct. I think you have to be well trained technically before you can venture off and do other things. I think you got to have your basics all together, and I think that's where I started.
And where would you like your career to go? What is the next step?
I think the next step is definitely getting my own music out there more. I'd like to collaborate with some, you know, new DJs, to do something fresh, and then bring it into other artists. I'd love to see the violin in some definitely more commercial music. I think it would be awesome to make the violin trendy and new and fresh and popular.
And I think you do all those things you said with the violin.
Thank you so much. I hope so. That's my goal. My goal is to make the violin cool again.
Elene Cassis, I was blown away by your fall 2011 collection last February, and I wondered, would you be able to sustain that momentum that you've gotten with that collection? And tonight, after seeing your spring 2012 collection, the answer is a qualified yes.
Yay, I passed your test.
I'm, again, very impressed. I loved everything that you did. What was your inspiration for this collection?
This collection, it's simple. It was the Greek key.
That is very simple. And how did you achieve that?
You know what? I'm inspired by geometry, and I'm also architecture and interior design, so it wasn't hard to take the Greek key, which is normally on so much furniture and artwork, and just bring it into clothing.
Well, I loved all the, as usual, the and the textures that you mixed up, etc., and mixing sequins with that, etc. How did you choose your fabrics this season?
You know what? I really wanted to do a lot of color this season, but I love my black and whites, so I could do the punch of color, the black and white punch of color, and so yellow and Tiffany blue were my major.
show with Swan Lake. Was the black and white a big play off of that as well?
Yeah. I think that Swan Lake set the tone for the show, and it was just awesome.
Well, I think you've done a brilliant, brilliant job again, and I'm looking forward to the next collection.
Thank you so much for your support and being here.
Thank you very much.